A crucial part of the African Nations Cup competition, like other football fiestas in the world in the 60s, the 70s, and early 80s, was the role played by sports commentators on radio. Despite the presence of television, numerous sports fans in these countries preferred listening to radio for football commentaries than watching the matches on television. Others were glued to radio sets because television sets were a rare commodity in many areas. More so, the radio sports commentators evoked images which caused the fans to visualize the matches in their mind's eyes. These commentators were revered in their respective countries. They were the golden voices of that period. In Egypt, sports reporter Mahmoud Bakr was virtually adored by Egyptian football fans. The crowd in the stadium stood up when he entered. They remained standing till he entered the reporting booth, put on his headphones, and sat to start work. In Cameroon, Peter Essoka in the 70s set football fans wild with excitement with his commentaries, especially during the 1972 African Cup of Nations in Yaoundé. He had war cries that the public repeated after him. He sent football fans emotional and coined names for players. In fact, he was at the origin of the duo Ndungu Ndoga. Abel Mbengue, his contemporary in the French language on Radio Cameroon at the 1972 African Nations Cup, Abel was so descriptive that he had emotional words at the end of the fateful semi-final match Cameroon versus Congo.
Fatalité a empêché aux Camerounais de se qualifier pour la finale. Car à 1-0 à la 37e minute, vous et moi, il faut le reconnaître, personne n'imaginait le Congo vainqueur final de cette demi-finale. Combien de balles sur les poteaux?
In Nigeria, sports commentator Ernest Okonkwo was legendary. He thrilled listeners with hilarious cliches over Nigeria's airwaves. For example, in a match between Enugu Rangers International and Raka Rovers of Kano, a Raka Rovers player mesmerized Enugu Rangers players on the field. Hear what Ernest said. He beats Christian Chuku, he beats Christian Madu, he beats Christian Nwokocha, he beats 3 Christians in a row. Who is this man? He must be a Muslim. Oh, it is Shafiu Mohammed sending a diagonal pass to Baba Otu. Here Ernest Okonkwo again. During a penalty shootout, he said, 5 players have on each side been selected to take penalty kicks. The players are praying to God to give them this day, but it is not who prays more, but who plays better. Hear him again. Etim Esin, he shilly-shallies, he dilly-dallies, and he tries to beat one man, but only succeeds in beating himself. Ernest Okonkwo died in August 1990. The celebrated Zambian sports commentator Dennis Liwewe was a reference for many sports reporters in Africa. Here comes Liwewe.
Technical captain Dick Jama heads it away. It comes away, and then everything Mobilo has gone inside Zambia's own area, and then headed away. It comes back again to Mbaso, clears it away at the destined pressure. They are building up an attack now on the left flank, this side of the field. This is Mtowe. Mtowe gets someone, Kawadi Kabush. Moves like lightning, or moved like lightning in there. You give him the ball, he's gone.
You see, the problem about humanity is to belittle somebody. And the Zambian, by nature, doesn't want to be belittled. You know that. We do the impossible here.
Player, perhaps after Boniface Mtowe, when it was for Power Dynamos, in the commentary box you're saying, Alex! Picks it up, turns 360 degrees, And Peter Karumba has started to run, and you know, at about 62 degrees angle, is straight away on the leg of Peter, breaks even, Peter crosses and he scores. It's a goal.
When Zambia is playing football, there is no Bemba, there is no Nyanja, there is no Lunda, there is no Tonga, you can name it. One Zambia, one nation.
One of the greatest expectations of Dennis Liwewe was to be alive when Zambia wins the African Nations Cup, and God gave him the opportunity.
And God created me in a situation, in a manner in which he said, no, you will not go until you see Zambia win the Africa Cup.
Like Abel, Mbengue, Zakarenko, Peter Essoka, who were imitated by very many young persons in Cameroon, so too in Zambia. Top sports reporters who had an admiration for David Liwewe imitated him even in their football commentaries.
All the way from Belgium at shirt number 7, Lake Musiska has called Muchofe. Perhaps one of the best midfielders that Zambia's ever produced in that engine room. All the way from Belgium at Anderlecht, Charles Jalico Musonda. And also coming from Belgium, plied his trade at Nchanga Rangers, he's called the Mukango, Stone Nyirenda. Shirt number 11, playing as the number 10. Probably the most inspirational Zambian player ever that I've seen in this time. Kalusha, Walia, 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 Walia. And you know, the crowd would, stand in adulation. And obviously when he described the goal, it was something out of this world. And you know, he would say, the ball comes to Makenga to Charles Musonda, turns round 360 degrees. Musiska is calling for the ball on the left. He gets him. Come on, Maisha, cross the ball!
Dennis Liwewe gave a message on what should be written on his tombstone when he dies.
I was asked one time on the BBC, they said, can you tell us, what do you want the world to remember you for when you die? I said, what will be written on my tombstone will be this: here lies a man who used every opportunity that God had given him.
Liwewe died in April 2014. Then the rhythmic Zakarenko, known for his famous statement when Canon of Yaoundé defeated AS Bilima of Zaire in the final of the 1980 African Club Champions Cup in Kinshasa. Hear him. From Kuseri to Bakingele, Cameroonians uncork your bottles. Here is Zakarenko running live commentaries. The Omnisport Stadium Moliko was Mount Cameroon Football Club of Boya versus Canon of Yaoundé.
Mount Cameroon FC of Boya 1, Canon Sportif of Yaoundé 0. Those unofficial 9 minutes look like 9 weeks for the supporters of Mount Cameroon Football Club of Boya. The players for Canon Sportif of Yaoundé, believe me or not, I dread, I fear, I shudder, I get astonished each time they move forward. They are faster on the ball on the pitch. The calculations on the floor are better. The counter-attacks are incisive, and I shudder each time they move deep inside the bedroom of Mount Cameroon Football Club of Boya. That is the truth. Mount Cameroon is leading, but the chances are still open.
Zakarenko died in 2017.
Where's the ball now? I think it's Cameroon Tribune. Number 10 man. Dead. He beats one man. Takes another one.
What is he doing? Turns around, looks up and down, sends the ball to who? Sends the ball to his captain, number 14, the national television. Somebody, that is another danger. Attention, in front of goal. No.
Paradoxically, sports commentaries on radio have taken a back seat. Meanwhile, it had the driver's seat in the years. Revival possible? The $1 million question.